Hi, this is Chris with Simply Xcart, and I'm going to make another video tutorial for Sharon at Biosonics. So this video, Sharon, you've asked for a couple different topics to be tutorialized, and this video is going to discuss creating categories and creating products, and then putting stuff in categories or subcategories so that it expands with your flyout menu in the way that you want it to. And then there are probably 2 more videos that I will be making and sending to you at some point later this week regarding regarding the Amazon, and then the other one that you emailed, which I can't remember right now. Anyways, so the first thing will be, we'll start with categories because it's a little simpler. No matter how many products you ever have, you're probably never going to have more than, maybe 10 or so categories. So here we are. I'll go back to the dashboard so we can start from the very beginning. So this is the dashboard of the website, and also as I'm doing this, I have a tab with the front side of the page open so that we can refresh it after we've done something and see if it worked the way we wanted it to, or maybe there was some unexpected result. And then the other tab is the Xcart, the back end of the store. So we are going to go to catalog and then go to product categories. And you see here there is a list of about 8 or 9 categories, and you'll see there are 2 that are light gray and the rest have black text. If you go to the front side of the website, you'll see that the holiday specials and electronics are not listed in the products categories. That's because they don't have, that's either because they're disabled, like right here you see this one is enabled to know and this one is enabled to know. So these are both disabled, but also if they had no products with current inventory, they also would get automatically disabled. But these 2, it appears, have been manually disabled, since you can see it has the no option checked here. And then the ones in the black text, the bolded text, they're all still live. And you'll see on your product categories that there is a flyout for everything except for these 2, the crystal feet and the angel and crystal tuners. That is because if you click into these, the crystal feet or the crystal tuners category, that's because there are no subcategories added to that category. If I was to add a subcategory, and we'll just do it right now just for the fun of it, so this, we're adding, it says add category, but really what we're doing right now is adding a subcategory to this crystal tuners, or actually I think we might be in the crystal feet, and then it's going to add this little blue triangle, which will give a little flyout to the right for whatever subcategory options we choose. So we're just going to make a test one. The position is what order it shows in on the flyout list. So it starts at 0 and goes until infinity. The lower numbers will show up first at the top of the list, and the higher numbers will show up. So we'll just put a 0 in, and that'll be the top of the list. And we'll call this category subcategory test 1. This clean URL field, you don't ever have to fill in, just it'll fill it in for you. You can see that basically what it's done is added a dash in between the 2 words, so that the URL is going to be biosonics.com/subcategory-test. And this is a good URL. It's considered called clean URL. It's good because it has real words in it, and these are words that might be searched by people, and these are words that can get indexed by Google robots. So you'll see some URLs that are a million characters long and have a whole bunch of just non-letter characters and non-word characters, like symbols and things. And those URLs are, first of all, really hard to remember and really hard to get people to go to. And second of all, they don't really get very much search engine juice because they're pretty hard for the Google robots to understand what's going on there. Anyways, So then this description field, for a subcategory, you are probably going to be leaving that blank most of the time. We'll go into one of the subcategories that already exists. If we put a description, it's going to put text right here. So if you wanted to say, you know, let's say you're selling helmets, and you wanted to put under, in the text of the helmets, you wanted to put like, we have a supply of bike helmets, ski helmets, and motorcycle helmets, or whatever. That type of text would go in that description. Well, we can just leave it blank because it looks like your categories don't have descriptions anyways. This membership, you can hold control and select to put this subcategory as a member of multiple different groups, but in 99.9% of all cases, you're just going to be choosing all. So I would not even think about this, just pick all. Availability, this is the enable or disable button. If you want to have it be, if you want to have your website reflect this subcategory, as soon as you press apply, then have it be enabled. If you want to, maybe you're still working on it, or maybe you want to add the subcategory and then add all the products to the subcategory, and you don't want it to have to show up on the website in the meantime, then you can disable it and still create it. Then you can go in and add your products, and then you can enable it later. We're just going to have it enabled right now because we're not going to be adding products. We're just going to add it and then refresh the website and see what it does. Oh, and there's also an option for a category icon, which you can choose whatever image you want. It looks like on your website you are not choosing to have an icon, but in the similar place where the description text would have gone, there'll be, you know, a little image box if you choose a choice there. But we're not going to, and it looks like you haven't on your existing categories. So these are all of the required fields. We can hit apply changes, and then we can go and refresh this page, and you'll see this crystal feet now has the blue arrow, and it has the little, when you hover over it, it flashes out to the right, and we see subcategory test 1. So that was successful. Now, if creating a category and creating a subcategory are exactly the same, it's the exact same list of options. So if you wanted to create another category, like I see you've already done that here for the crystal feet and the crystal wands. If you wanted to add another category for, you know, whatever, this is where you add the base level categories that will show up on the left side navigation bar called product categories, and the options are exactly the same as the subcategory ones that I just showed. The only difference is that this category will be under the top level and not under the secondary level. And then, so let's say we had the categories and the subcategories that we wanted, and we just wanted to add a product or multiple products. We'll add something to our subcategory, test 1. So the fields we just filled in to create this category are going to be further known as category details from now on. If you ever want to change any of those things, you click category details, and you can see we're back to this page, which has the options that I initially put in. But we don't want to change that. Right now what we want to do is change the category products, which right now you can see is empty because we just made it, and so there are no products, but let's add something to it. Okay. So this is going to be your standard. Actually, the page that I just went into is the page that will be on later on in this video for adding products from scratch, but we don't want to add a product from scratch. We just want to add a product to a category. So to do that, what we're going to do is first we'll find a product on the front side of the website that we think we want to add, and we'll go for this book, Music and Sound in the Healing Arts, and we're going to search for this exact product on our catalog products, and the first thing that it pops up with is this search for products. We're going to just copy paste in the exact title and search for it. And there we have this product, and here's the price, and we can go check on the front side to see if the price is the same, and it is. So we're looking at the same thing. We'll click into this product, and you can see by scrolling through this main category and additional categories field, you can see what, if any, categories this product is currently a member of. And right now it looks like it is just in books, and that's it. And then I guess it's in its own category as a subcategory of books here. If we wanted to, let's say, add it to our subcategory, we'll find Angel and Crystal Tuners subcat. This is one we want. And if you hold the control button down, it allows you to select additional categories without getting rid of the ones that you already did. So, because I still want this book to show up in the book category, I just want to also have it show up in the subtest. So I'm going to hold down control, click this, then I'll release control and scroll down to make sure that the other category is still highlighted, which it is. So now I've got 2 categories highlighted, and we don't need to change anything else. So this product already has a description and already has this price and weight and quantity and all this stuff. That's because this product already exists, and all we were doing was adding it to our subcategory. And this is what you'll do. First you have to create the products, and then you can put them in a category, or actually when you're creating the products you can put them in a category at the same time as well. But let's say you wanted to put in an already existing product into a category, that is how you do it. And we will press apply, and then we'll refresh our page and see if it worked like it was supposed to. So you see that the number 1 in the parentheses means that now we have 1 product in this category, and when we click into it we get to music and sound and healing arts, which is the product that we added. So that all worked perfectly. But now I'm going to move it out of that category, subcategory, because it doesn't need to be there. And to remove it from a subcategory, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Uh-oh. So I don't want to hit apply because I accidentally pressed away from the categories I was in. And you'll do this sometimes because your mouse just clicks somewhere or something. The best thing to do is just don't hit apply. Just hit back or hit somewhere else and go back to that product. And now you see that they're both highlighted again. So I'm going to press control, and I'm going to take off the subcategory test that we don't really want it on, and apply. And now we're back to normal. This subcategory should be empty. If we refresh, it is empty now, and it's just an empty subcategory. So that is pretty much the long and short of adding simple categories and adding simple subcategories, as well as adding existing products to categories or subcategories. And since we are here and this next topic is really very similar, I will show you how to add a product. Now there are multiple levels of product complexity, and I don't know if Biosonic necessarily has anything that's complex, but some people will be selling, let's say, shirts, and they'll have the same model of shirt, but it's available in 10 different sizes and 10 different colors. To do that, you'd have to create a complex or configurable product, which will basically create a parent product, and then will create the children products that the parent product carries all the information that's shared between the children, and then the children carry their individual size and color differentiations. I don't know that Biosonics has any products like that, so we're not going to get into that at the moment because that's a little bit more complex. Right now we're just adding simple products, and this is how you do it. So first we'll start off at our dashboard again, just so that we can start from scratch. You can go into products, catalog, add new products, or add new product rather. The first thing is an image. Obviously, obviously upload whatever image you want and upload whatever thumbnail you want, probably just the same image, smaller. When you're creating the category, you can add it to its main category and then add it to additional categories right off the bat. So what I showed you a couple minutes ago was adding existing products to a category that you just created. Most of the time you won't need to do that. If the category existed before the product, then you'll just add the product to the category as you are creating it, if that makes sense. So we're going to add this one to, sure, we'll add it to our subcategory, our Angel Crystal Tuners Great Gifts subcategory. And we won't add it to any additional categories right now because it doesn't matter, and we're just going to remove it anyways. We just need to show it adding to one. Manufacturer, you are selling intellectual property, so you guys don't have a manufacturer, and you can just leave this as not specified every time. Availability for sale. So available for sale means that it'll show up as soon as I apply it. Hidden will mean that it does not show up, and it does not show up if someone searches for it, but if you give them a direct link, then they can still put it in their cart. It's rare that people will want to do that. Most of the time, if you have something for sale, you'll want it to be searchable and you'll want it to show up on your catalog list. But in some certain cases, like let's say you were working for a place that sold small numbers of big items, and you were, like, let's say you're selling motorcycles or boats or something, and you had a product page for this one boat that was expensive, and you only had one of these boats left, and you didn't want to accidentally sell it to multiple people who happen to buy it online at the same time, and you know that the people who are interested in buying it, you're going to be talking to them face to face anyways, and you'll have an opportunity to just give them a link. In cases like that, maybe you'd want to have it hidden but available for sale so you can directly link people, but that's a pretty obscure or rare example that I don't know that it would happen. Disabled is exactly what it sounds like. The product will be created. It won't show up on the website until you make it available, but it's not a bad practice in general to create stuff and have it be disabled initially until you have all the kinks worked out to be exactly what you want. And then bundled is also what it sounds like. If you make bundled products where, let's say you have SKU A, SKU B, and SKU C, and then you have SKU D, which is simply a bundle of A, B, and C, then in cases like that, then you could make this product a part of a specific bundle. I'm not sure that you guys are doing any bundles, so you probably wouldn't need to worry about that. We're going to just have it be available. The SKU, this is your in-house SKU, however you keep track of your products. It looks like it tries to auto-create the next SKU in line, so we're on 17,755, but we're just going to do SKU test 555 because we don't want to take one of your SKU numbers when this is just a test anyways. Then product name, we'll call this the biosonics test product. Again, clean URL. When you click into that field, it just creates the input for you. You don't need to do that. Search keywords. These are the keywords that when people search for the search bar in your site, it will come up with. This doesn't have anything to do with Google or Yahoo. This is just your site. And it's already set to, if we have a product called biosonics test product and someone searches for biosonics test product, they would find it regardless of what you put in the keywords. But let's say you wanted to put maybe the doctor's name or whatever. You can put Dr. John. I'm sorry, I don't know how to spell Beaulieu off the top of my head, but let's just say you wanted to have that be a searchable term while it's not the name of the product. You can put that there. Also, what the search bar on your website searches for is words in the description. So if you have the doctor's name in the description, then it should be searched for that even if the search keywords weren't filled in. My advice for the search keywords is fill in a few that are the most likely to be used, and then over time, if you notice that a certain product or a certain page is not getting enough traffic and it's because people aren't able to find it, then you can add more keywords later. But I would say in general, don't beat yourself up too hard over this keywords. Just add a few of the most basic ones and you'll be fine. The short description, this is a mandatory field, and this is what will show up here. This is what will show up. Oh no, I'm sorry. The short description is what will show up on the catalog page, which is basically a short description. And then the long description, or the detailed description is what the field calls it, will give us this long multi-paragraph one that is that's actually on the product page. So we'll fill this out just to make sure that it works the way that we think it does. But we'll put test short description, test detailed description. All of this title tag, meta keyword, and meta description, these are essentially things for search engine robots they first access this portion of your website, which are the meta keywords and the meta description. And so if we Google for biosonics.com, well, that's just going to take us to Biosonics. We want to Google Chrome, too smart. So if we search for biosonics, you see this little description right here, Sound Healing Pioneer. This is the meta description for the main index page of your website. If you wanted to change this to highlight some other aspects of the business, then you could change that, and this is sort of the first thing that a search engine viewer would see. Also, the meta description is important to put in words that are going to be popularly searched, because it'll put you up higher on the list that way. And then the meta keywords is the exact same thing. So maybe you can't fit all the keywords you want into the short description, but you do want to pack in a whole bunch of keywords somewhere. You put them there, and then you don't have to try to jam them into the description and make it sound all silly. You can put them there. The next block of fields is pretty self-explanatory. The price is the price that a customer will buy it for on your website. The list price is the market price, or the MSRP, that it's going to show up on the website as the slashed out one. So you see here, market price $74.95, but then the sale price is $59.95. Whatever you put in for the market price is going to be the one that's slashed out. So the higher number you put there, the more of a savings it's going to appear to be in that little red text that says save 20%. If I were to put $1 million on the market price, then it's going to say save 99%, which is an interesting sales tool that is used differently by different companies. I think that generally the way you have it, where the market price is about 20% over the sale price, that's about right. Otherwise, people start asking questions, why is this so cheap, or why was the market price so expensive, or whatever. Quantity, self-explanatory. This is however many you have, and if you have a digital product that you have basically infinity of, then I think 1,000 is a fair number to go with. Low limit stock is the stock amount that you will get an automatic email from the system saying, hey, you're running out of this. So when you have 10 left, it's going to say, hey, you're running out of this. Minimum order quantity is self-explanatory. So if it's set to 1, it means the customer can buy 1 on their order. If it's set to 2, it means the customer has to buy at least 2. And then product return time is the time on your return policy that you'd want it. And I think that when I looked on the rest of your products, this field was either blank or 0, which I'm not sure how you guys deal with returns, but that's what that field is about. Then the next block, the weight is self-explanatory. This weight gets used for real-time shipping calculators. If you ship, FedEx or UPS, and you have a program on your website that calculates the shipping label rate for that exact person's product and that exact person's address, then it takes into account the weight that you've put in with your on the back end of the product detail. And in general, if you're selling, like I said, digital electronic goods, you can put in 0.1 or 0.1 because you're not actually sending anything. But if you are sending an actual thing like a DVD or a book, even if you're not using a calculator, I think it's wise to put in at least a pretty close estimate of the weight, because you never know if at some point in the future you will want to add the functionality to have a real-time shipping rate. And if you haven't added these weights in, then you're going to have to go back in and add in the weights for however many hundreds or thousands of products, which is not the end of the world, but it's just a waste of time when you could have just taken 1 second to put something in here. The next field, free shipping. This is totally self-explanatory. If there's anything that you want to give free shipping to, like for example a digital product, then you'll choose yes, because you don't want to have your shipping rate show up on something that you're just going to email or that they can just download. But if it's something that you want to have a shipping cost, then you'll put yes. Shipping freight is a category that you're going to have be 0 all the time, because your store has the shipping rates already defined, and they're not on a product level, they're on an order level. If you wanted to have certain products have their own shipping expenses, you could do it here. I don't think that is very common with most stores, but if you sold, let's say 99 out of your 100 products were very small or digital things that you offered free shipping for or very cheap shippings for, and then all of a sudden you started selling a line of mountain bikes, well, you might want to add a shipping surcharge to just the mountain bikes and not have to change your website wide shipping policy of free shipping or a very cheap shipping, but you want these bikes to ship for more because they cost a lot. You can do that here. But as I said, in the products that I looked on your website, they're all 0, so I don't think that you'll need to fill anything there. Use the dimensions of this product for shipping costs, and then there's a checkbox, and then there's also a field for the dimensions. This goes along again with the real-time shipping rate calculation. If you know exactly how big of a package each product is going to be in, you can fill it in here, and then your real-time shipping rate will be even more accurate because they know exactly what size box and what size weight and where it's going. It'll be, pretty much perfectly accurate. But when I was looking at the other products on your website, it appears that this option is generally not checked because you're not using the box dimensions to calculate the shipping cost. And then since this is not checked, also the shipping box dimensions have not been filled in, so that's fine. These are not required. You can leave these empty. And the same as the ship in a separate box or the quantity per shipping box, you can leave those as the default and not do anything with those unless in the future you want a product to be shipped in a separate box or have only one or only have a certain quantity per shipping box, but those things are probably not going to be very likely to happen. And then again, for the membership, you'll just pick all. For the tax exempt, you'll choose no unless there's something that you do want to be tax exempt. And then if you've chosen no on the tax exempt column, then you have to give it at least one tax rate to choose from, and here we have 4. The two that you are going to want to add for all of your website products are UC tax and exempt. And what those two categories mean, the UC tax is your New York state tax, which if a product is sold online but shipped to the same state that it originates from, so in your case, if you ship something to somewhere else in New York, then they have to pay New York state taxes. If you were to ship something to my house in Utah, it would be a tax-exempt purchase. So for 99 out of 100 of your products, you'll select both UC tax and exempt so that you can apply the 8% tax rate when you need to, or you can apply the 0% tax rate when you don't need to. And then this last field before we hit apply is called apply global discounts, which probably won't come into a play, but you might as well keep it checked on your products, because let's say that in a year from now you wanted to mark down everything by 50%. You could do that with just one keystroke for everything, for all the products that have this button applied. And if you don't ever use that function, then it's fine. This won't change anything, so it doesn't hurt to just leave it checked. So we will hit apply changes. And you see up here in the top right, we have a confirmation, little text that says the product has been successfully created. Now you can define additional options for the product. So now if we wanted to do a number of things, now that we have this product, now like I showed you before, we could add it to a number of categories if we wanted to. We could add a group of related products, which your website doesn't have related products on the product pages, but it's a very common thing. If you've shopped online anywhere, I'm sure you've seen it. You'll see, so there's this book here about human tuning, and then maybe there are a handful of other books, or maybe there's an audio version of this book, or maybe there's a DVD version of this book that are all kind of related, or maybe customers have purchased multiple things together multiple times, that they kind of work well as a package. It's kind of an upselling technique to put the related products, and they'll show up on this products page if you were to do that with a link and a picture to the related product. And without setting some up, I don't know exactly how it would display, but I'm assuming it would display under the description, between the description and the customer feedback module. I'm assuming it would show a little, probably 3 or 4 product pictures with links to related things. That's just one of the things you can do once the product's created. Obviously you can change the quantity, you can change the category, you can change the image. If you have customers that have written a review, you can add reviews for products. And reviews are actually a really smart idea as far as search engine optimization, because it's basically content. It's genuine content written by a human talking about the product that's on your website. So it's just more things for the search engine robots to crawl through, and it's more information that links your website and this product. And reviews are very general, and not to mention they're just a good sales tool in general, because a customer sees another person's review that says, oh, this product was great for me, or this product didn't work out for me, or whatever. It can be helpful for the customer in that way. There are also programs. This back-end little basic module, you'd be adding these reviews one by one. If reviews were something that you wanted to do full force, there are pretty cheap programs that we can buy a module and add it to the website, where you wouldn't have to add the reviews one by one. Like a customer would fill out the review on their own website. They would email you a copy of it to either accept or deny, basically, and then it would be put on. And those are, if you're really going at it for reviews, I would say that this basic review module is probably a little bit lackluster, but as a start, it's definitely better than nothing. And then you see over to the right, there are a couple other options, like detailed images. If you wanted to add more images than just the one. Like if there was something that maybe the back side of it was important, or the insides of it were important, or some kind of side angle shot was important to a customer, you add those extra pictures here. And yeah, you can change the wholesale price. You can change a couple other things that you probably won't need to do here, unless you are planning on, going into wholesale or going into whatever. But that's pretty much the gist of creating a simple product and creating a simple category, and then the manipulation you can do with that simple category and simple product. I'm sure that I've forgotten some crucial details, because that seems like the way of the world, but I'm gonna have to call this video a wrap, and hopefully it's helpful for you. And if it's not, send us an email about what was confusing, or what needed more explanation or better explanation. We can definitely do it for you.